Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 435 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Ian and Amy Anderson. They are the Digital Nomads, and wow, are they perfect for this show. I've been railing against, sitting in cubicles and making everybody else rich for my entire 44 years in business, and they really embody the taking it to the nth degree. And something they'll tell us about a little later, they're actually making money while traveling the world doing their business. That's a pretty cool thing. You'd think it would cost them money. So I hope you didn't miss episode 434. That was Joey, Donovan, listen to this, Guido, okay? But he told me, no, it's Guido. Okay, well, it looks like Guido to me. He's also in the web arena, like our Digital Nomads here, and he just loves copy. He's got a site called Cuppa. What is it? Cuppa SEO. He's an SEO guy, and he wrote a book called Holistic Websites, which is really something because a lot of people come to me with what I call CSIs. Everybody thinks, oh, it's the TV show, right? No, it's crappy, stupid idea. and they don't look at the whole big picture of how the social media and keyword research and everything works in to their web design. So he went into that in depth, and he wrote a book on it. All right, how would you like to hear your own voice here on Screw the Commute? Well, if the show's helped you out at all in your business or giving you ideas to help you start a business, we want to hear about it. Visit screwthecommute.com and look for a little blue sidebar that says send a voicemail. Click on it, talk into your phone or computer, and tell me how the show's helped you. And also put your website in there so you can get a big shout out on a future episode of Screw the Commute. While you're over there, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. You can put us on your cell phone and tablet, take us with you on the road. You could take us all the way to Croatia or Montenegro if you wanted to. You'll know what that means in a minute. Also, I'm going to say you're welcome right now, because when you download my ebook on automating your business, you're going to say, oh my God, Tom, I wish I'd have been doing this years ago. Yeah. Just one of the tips in the book has saved me 7.5 million keystrokes. We actually estimated it the other day. And it's got cell phone automation and all these things that are right in front of your eyes that can make you lightning fast in taking care of customers and reducing your workload. So grab a copy of that. We sell it for $27, but it's yours free for listening to the show at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Screwthecommute.com/automate free. Now, I know everybody's crying the blues because of the pandemic, and your kids are out of school, in school. You got to quit your job if you even had a job, and everybody's freaking out. Well, I'm not, and my students aren't, because we know how to sell online or from wherever you happen to be in the world, and that's, of course, what this episode's about. But I've been selling on the commercial internet since it began in 1994. And I started teaching it that was 27 years ago. About 23 years ago, I formalized the training in my mentor program. And then 13 years ago, I formalized it even more in the form of a school. It's the only licensed, dedicated internet marketing school in the country, probably the world. I'll have to check with our nomads here, see if they run into one somewhere. It's certified to operate by SCHEV, the State Council on Higher Education in Virginia. And you don't have to be in Virginia, though, because it's good quality distance learning, unlike some of the colleges nowadays that all of a sudden with the pandemic, they got a distance learning course that sucks. And they can rip you off remotely rather than locally now, I guess, is how they work it. And then you can compete for jobs at Starbucks. I wonder if there's Starbucks in Montenegro. I'm gonna have to find out. So that's at imtcva.org. And a little later, you'll hear how you can get a scholarship that you can gift to someone or use yourself for extra training if you're in my high-end mentor program. All right, let's get to the main event. We've got Amy, and I think he put her measurements here, 36, 40. No, that's her age. That's her age. Amy and Ian Anderson are a married couple from Tampa, Florida. that have been running their web design business together for the past 12 years. In August 2020, they rented out their house and they're now traveling around the world, changing countries every 3 months. And I'll tell you what, I had to look up on the map where they are now. I think it's in Montenegro. And listen, Amy and Ian, I'm afraid to ask this question to a couple that's in all these romantic places, but are you ready to screw the
Yes.
commute? All right. Well, I hardly ever interview two people at once, so I'll throw these questions out there, and you can fight it out on who's going to answer them. But
All right.
but-
let's do that.
Sounds good.
But tell us about this. You rented your house out and said, "Listen, we're going on the road." And so, how was that decision-making process?
Well, it actually started January 2020 before the pandemic hit, and we were all ready to go. And then COVID-19 pretty much sidelined everything.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to the first week of July, Florida was spiking like crazy. It was
Yeah.
actually at that point, I think it was like the worst place in the world. We kind of became like the epicenter, and we said, you know what? It can't get any worse than it is here right now.
Yeah.
And at that point, Aruba had opened up to US citizens. So we said, you know what? Let's just put the entire plan into motion that we started in January, and let's do it.
Was the house rented at this point?
Oh, that was crazy. So despite COVID-19, the real estate market in Tampa is actually really strong. So we contacted our realtor who is managing the property. He's a property manager. And he basically said, are you guys ready to do this? Because the house is going to rent quickly. So I think from when we contacted him and said, okay, let's do it, I think we were out of the house in like less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we got it rented furnished. So that really saved a lot of moving
Right.
time and expense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you
It
had
actually happened so quickly that we ended up having to stay at an Airbnb in Tampa for 6 days because it was like the logistics with the PCR testing for Aruba. So we weren't planning to get out of the house that quickly.
Yeah.
So we ended up being in Tampa for an extra week, staying at an Airbnb about 10 minutes from our actual house.
Well, I understand that you two have become somewhat experts at negotiating Airbnbs.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. We've gotten great deals everywhere we go. We're typically saving thousands of dollars every month.
Is it because the market is down because of the pandemic, or you're just good at negotiating? It could happen anytime.
Well, we'll find out when the pandemic goes away.
Okay.
All the negotiating has happened during the pandemic, so I have nothing else to base it on.
Got it. But I'm sure you're using some standard techniques. I mean, you made a whole course on it, right?
Yes, absolutely. The Airbnb negotiation course, walk you through the entire thing. And, I'm sure that you have amazing guarantees on your products as well. But, the guarantee is if you can't save if you can't negotiate at least what you paid for the course, you get a full refund.
Yeah. I have guarantees that says, look, if you make money with my product, I'm going to get you a free vaccine shot. Yeah. And yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I read that you're actually traveling the world and making money. So, and I see making money from, doing your business, but you're actually coming out ahead of where you were before you left.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
You want to start with the spreadsheet that you made?
Well, yeah. So last January, I'm not sure how we started talking about this, but basically took a spreadsheet and I listed all the current expenses that we had for our life in Tampa.
Mhm.
And that was our mortgage, our health insurance, our car payment, our car insurance, all of that stuff. And then in the column next to it, I listed the expenses, what it would be to basically do what we're doing now, which is traveling the world, jumping from country to country. And it was amazing the savings that I realized because we don't have a car. That means we don't have a car payment, we don't have car insurance.
Right.
Our health insurance is cheaper. And the places that we're staying are cheaper.
Well, and I was going to say, and our renter, our tenant, I should say, like the money that's left over. So like everything that we get from our tenant covers the mortgage,
Right.
the property tax, the property insurance. And then we cover some basic maintenance like the monthly pool care, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it still ends up putting about $300 a month in our pocket, plus the utilities are in his name. So we were able to, we don't have an electric bill, we don't
Right.
have a water bill, we don't
Yeah.
have an internet bill.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and then Florida, electric bill is probably pretty serious with the air conditioning, right?
Between that and then the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, but what you said your health insurance is cheaper. How does that work? Because it seems like you're risky travel in the world, more risky than sitting home.
Well, there's different when our health insurance plan in the United States was.
Could you
just for
speak
the
up a little
United
bit?
Oh, can you hear me?
And you do you go by Ian or Robert?
Yeah, Ian.
Ian. Okay. Yeah. You faded away a little bit there for me.
Oh, here I am.
Now it's good.
Yeah, so good. Back in the United States. So back in the United States, we were paying, what was it, about 600, 7?
Yeah, just for health. And then plus vision and dental was separate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now we have an international plan, and it's only I think it was not 200. I think it was maybe $400 for the entire year.
I don't, how does that
How
work?
crazy is that?
Exactly. I'm thinking about, canning the one I got, pretending
Yeah,
I'm
right?
traveling.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's through safety. Now, I'm not like promoting these people for any reason other than they use them. Is through Safety Wing.
Yeah, you're fading away
And-
on me again. If you can stay closer
no.
to the mic.
Yeah, I have a earpiece on. But yeah, it's through Safety Wing, and it's incredibly cheap. Now, it doesn't have things like the preventative care, to go
Right.
get your teeth cleaned and all that. But to be honest, and we haven't done it yet, from what I read online, the cost for various teeth cleaning, eye checks up and all that in different countries is apparently significantly cheaper than in the United States.
Yeah, there's people that specialize in medical travel, I think they call it, because
Yeah,
some things are so. Try to avoid getting any butt implants or something. I heard they they put like caulking, bathroom caulk in there.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. So never would have heard of that. Now, what if you'd have had a pet? What would you have done?
That's a great question.
Could it be done?
About that?
Yes, it can be.
It can be. We actually just met somebody here in Montenegro who's also a digital nomad, actually kind of settled down here, started out as a digital nomad, but him and his wife moved here from the United States with 2 cats.
Yeah.
So they were able to do that.
So it's the thing. I'm not sure. I know that they said that there was a lot of paperwork you had to do.
Yeah.
You didn't get into much more.
Yeah, I
detail.
know. Even like taking some dogs to Hawaii, my friend, they had to quarantine him for like, I don't know, 6 months or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so it'd probably be more difficult with pets in different countries or different regulations. But now, how have you found the internet in all the places? What are some of the best countries and worst countries for internet access?
Every country we've been to so far, we've been
better
fortunate.
than Tampa,
It's been
probably.
great. Yeah, it's been great. I was actually really nervous about coming to Montenegro because when you look online, you see a lot of places that says that the internet is not that great, and like obviously we need the internet to make money. So when Ian contacted a bunch of Airbnbs that we were looking at staying, the first question he asks is, what is the internet? Where my wife and I are web designers, this is important to us. So, they usually will take like a picture showing like the upload speed.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And it was surprisingly good here in Montenegro. So, so far we haven't had any issues.
Yeah, everyone's been great.
How many countries have you been to?
So since August, this is our 4th. We went from Aruba to Croatia to Italy, and now we're in Montenegro. And we're actually coming to the end of our stay in Montenegro.
Wow, Italy was hit really hard with the pandemic. How'd you get in there?
Yeah, that was not easy.
It was a loophole. Yeah, actually, it really was. So at the time, when we went to Croatia, Italy, they were open for tourism, but a lot of people think that Italy was closed to United States citizens, which actually wasn't true. They were closed to direct travel from the United States. So because we were a United States citizen in Croatia was what they considered a low risk country. So as long as we could prove that we had stayed in Croatia for the immediate 14 days to travel to Italy and went directly there, we were allowed in. And right after we were allowed in, they shut down for tourism.
Yeah, that's it seemed like it's a crazy time to be traveling the world.
Yeah.
Now, what about before you left? Did you, like you said, you went pretty quick, but what about the shots and things like that they always tell you to get when you're traveling around the world? Did you have to fool with that?
No, because we've traveled before, so we actually have a lot of like the recommended travel vaccines. The only one that we don't have, and I do wish we had got in Tampa, is yellow fever. Not that we're in a part of the world where there's a risk of that, but if we, decide to go to somewhere like South America, that's one shot that I would want to get.
Yeah. Now, I've got a quote here that from an article. I don't know if you both wrote it together, but I saw it in the it must have been a Croatia magazine or something. Very, very cool. It said, once you experience this lifestyle, your days will stop being black and white copies of the day before, and they will come alive with bursts of color. I thought that was
that's amazing.
Well, you wrote that, right? Or did they write that about you?
No, we wrote that.
Yeah, that's
it's obviously the entire premise of the Screw the
Yeah,
Commute
you're
podcast
fading on me again.
I say can you hear me?
Well, it's faded quite a bit.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Let me take off my headset.
Just shake your head a little bit or something. I don't know.
Shake my head.
Yeah, that's now it's better. Yeah, there it is.
All right. I was saying, it's the whole premise of your podcast is to screw the commute. And when you have the commute, every day is the same. You're stuck in traffic, and then you go to some gray office building where you sit in some little gray cubicle for 8 hours. You hate your coworkers, you hate what you're doing, and then you drive back home. And it's the same thing for 40 years until you retire or die. And that's that. But when you're doing this, you see new cultures, you try new food, you see new places. It's always something new and exciting. And I know a lot of people don't have that, but I absolutely recommend it. And those words that you read, I absolutely believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I'd never had the the displeasure of going to work every day. I've always had my own business, but I see people just. I mean, I'm a big guy. I went to college on a football scholarship. I had a physical, and the doctor said, "You should have been a Clydesdale horse." He said, wow. I got people half your age falling apart, and many of them were just in that rut, just back and forth to work, hoping for Friday afternoon, and then dreading Monday morning. I mean, every day is great to me, You wake up, you play with the dogs, in my case, and do whatever you want. Nobody's telling you what to do. I think you alluded to that in the article. You still take care of your business. Now, one thing that I think people would have to be a little disciplined, like you two, is get your work done before you go play.
Oh yeah, yeah. You absolutely have to do that because you can't let your business slack.
Yeah, and one thing that I think we're fortunate with is that we're so used to working from home. We've done this for so long. So it wasn't like making the transition from like a regular 9-to-5 job where you have to show up and you have, a boss telling you what you have to do every minute to, making the leap to traveling internationally and having to like still, make sure you're getting your work done. We were used to doing it for so long. It's just now we're just doing it in a different country.
Yeah. Now, have you had any computer problems and you say, oh man, how am I going to find an Apple
No,
store?
but that is like one of my biggest fears, especially here in Montenegro, because we each use a MacBook Pro, which, great computer. And like, we really like need that level of a computer to do what we do. So
yeah, there's no Apple store in Montenegro.
Ian, a couple weeks ago, every now and then, like there's been a couple times like he's kind of almost dropped his laptop and I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, now, how do you two work on the same projects, just different parts of it, or do each one has separate projects, or what?
We typically work on the same projects and sometimes at the same time. Maybe she's working on one page, I'm working on another page. But yeah, we do the exact same thing with the exact same clients and the exact same projects.
Yep.
Wow. And the communication with the clients could seems to me that could be challenging sometimes. I think you said you'll just promise to have it done, but isn't there a lot of questions that has to go back and forth with clients?
There is, and for the most part, it's for email. Like we communicate through email, and that's really how it's been for, I would say, like about the last 10 years or so. It's only if it's something like really urgent, because our clients have different schedules and they have calls with their clients, and so a lot of times it's easier just to communicate over email, and then we'll just schedule a call. And like now we do it through like WhatsApp because we're international. And then we just kind of figure out the time zone. Most of our clients are in your time zone, they're East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we have one that's in Central. So we make it work. I mean, a couple times we've had to have calls at, 10 p.m. our time, so it's 4 p.m. back home. But for the most part, it's email.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would just think though, in the web design business, there would be some nuances that would be easier to discuss by phone than going back with 50 emails. But I'm
Well,
never.
one thing that's different with our business model is most of our, we work primarily with marketing companies, not the end client.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes. Yeah. So
I was
it's-
thinking because I know the reason we don't do any web design here, we teach people to do stuff, is because they can't stand the client, 3 weeks later they're supposed to get you some information and they haven't, and then they're mad at you
Yes.
because you're not done.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right.
yes. So we rarely interact with the end client. That was we're essentially a white label web design company. We've
I wondered
partnered
how
up.
you got your
Yeah.
business. So the marketing company gets the business and sends it to
Yes.
you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, like we're charging, you could say like a wholesale price.
Right.
They mark it up at a premium, and it's a great fit. So like they have to deal with, they get the work, they deal with the client meetings, the
Oh,
phone
that's
calls,
even better. Yeah.
right. And then they relay the information to us. And most of the companies we have worked with for almost 10 years. So they, at this point, it's almost like routine.
Right.
Like, they kind of know the process. So that makes it easier.
Yeah, that's something. One of the kids I started, he he just sold his third startup. He sold Pluto.tv to Viacom. You're sitting down, and you're allowed to sit down in Montenegro, right? So
Yes.
$340 million. He sold.
Wow.
But he had
I
sold
think I
it.
actually have the Pluto TV app on my phone.
Yeah, the kid I started that, and he just sold it out to Viacom. And but prior to that, he had a web design company called Cyplex in L.A., and he sold it out for $1.5 million, and then he sold a greeting card company out for $6 million. Yeah,
Wow.
but I don't think he dealt with the end client too much either. It was kind of like the same thing. So,
Yeah.
so what's the best part and the worst part?
Of being a
a
web
digital
designer or
nomad? Yep.
Worst part right now, doing it during COVID-19, I would say for sure. That's definitely made it challenging.
Is everybody in all these countries mask crazy?
It depends on the country.
Varies. I would say the biggest like mask crazy country was Italy. Like you had to wear a mask everywhere, indoors, outdoors, unless you were eating. And there were some days we couldn't even go out to restaurants because we experienced a lot of like the crazy lockdowns.
Well, here in the U.S., they can't make up their mind about it.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, Italy was bad then, huh? What other kinds of things, if it was a normal environment, would be challenging?
Challenging because our business is exactly the same as what it was. There's nothing business challenging about it because the time zone thing isn't an issue. One of the negative things, and I think in the article that you read and we wrote about this, was you miss your family and your friends because you don't see them because they're back in the United States.
I don't even like my family, so I wouldn't miss them at all.
It would be that much easier for you.
Yeah.
I guess this would be the same regardless of whether or not there was COVID-19. Is I hate travel days. Like I hate the day that we change countries, because you literally, it's not like when you travel from home where like you just grab what you need. Like you literally need to pack up every single belonging you have with you, get into a suitcase, get to the airport. It's always a longer process, especially when you're already in a foreign country and then go into another foreign country, and then immigration and customs. So it makes for like a very long, exhausting day. So I'd say travel days are probably the downside.
Has language been a barrier anywhere?
English is spoken in most places.
Yeah.
Some more than others. Here, it's not the best here. Italy, wait staff and stuff.
Croatia's. I'm always amazed how many people can actually speak English pretty fluently.
Basically, in Aruba, I think everyone can speak.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any surprises on fees at airports?
Fees at airports?
The amount you get charged for stuff. For instance, because when I was speaking over in London, I think, and they said, "Oh yeah, you got to jump on this Ryanair. It's like $30 to go to somewhere, place." And I said, "Oh, that's great." So I get up there and it's $30 for the ticket, and it's like $360 for my luggage.
Yeah, that sounds like Spirit Airlines back in the United States.
Yeah.
We flew them one time. It's the same thing. I'm like, never again. No, we haven't experienced. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think they're the ones that just threw off this young family off the plane. It was all over the news. The 2-year-old wasn't wearing a mask while it was eating yogurt. They threw him off the plane.
Yeah, so bad.
Yeah, but no, I don't think we've had any crazy fees.
No, I would say the worst fee that we've experienced is ATM fees. And Ian actually is looking into it. There's a special bank account we can get to get like the ATM fees reimbursed, because I think we pay like $16 every time we take cash out of the ATM.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
$16.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's got to be a better way than that. So you can't pay like electronically through your phone and stuff?
Well, there's just certain things here. Like, so for example, in Montenegro, like they have food delivery, like the equivalent of Uber Eats, but they don't accept credit cards.
Oh,
so
okay.
like every time you have food delivery, like you have to pay cash. And a lot of the restaurants here, and this was in Croatia too, believe it or not, you can say you pay for dinner with your credit card. They don't have the capability to add the tip onto the credit card. So you always need to have like cash to tip. So yeah, you go through cash pretty quickly.
Yeah, you do.
Amazing.
But like back at home in the United States, like we barely ever carried cash.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember spending cash for a long time.
Yeah.
Now what about changing money? Isn't there fees involved with that when you're changing dollars to whatever Montenegro uses?
Well, believe it or not, even though Montenegro is not part of the EU, they actually use
euros.
the euro.
Oh, okay.
So we've actually been using the euro since December.
That saves you a lot. Yeah, so it's standardized all over the place. But plan on going to London or any place, because aren't they doing Brexit where they're trying to get out of that? They might still use the euro.
I'm not sure. Like London is someplace we'd want to go right now. I don't think it's feasible because of COVID restrictions. We're actually looking at Greece next, but Greece is also the euro.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. I understand that you two met at work, right?
Yes.
We did. We met at Domino's Pizza, of all ridiculous places.
You were both of you working at Domino's?
Yes, I was a driver. I used to deliver pizza, and she would answer the phones.
But we did not date then. We actually, because I was much younger. I was 14. He was 18. We did not date.
Oh, okay. All right, make
but
that
we
clear.
were it was just very friendly. Like, hey, how you doing? And then we both went our separate ways. At some point, each of us.
No. He didn't go his separate ways. He had his eye on you watching your birthday, and it was going to be hammered down.
That's a great way to say it, because when we actually did.
Hey, you're fading away on me again.
Oh no! Can you hear me?
Well, I hear you, but it's like 1/10 the volume, so it's no big deal. Just shake your head again. That worked last time.
Shake my head. Here I am. I was going to say, it's a great way how you said that. He has his eye on you, because we were actually working at a grocery store.
I was going to say, so then after Domino's, we probably hadn't seen each other in like 2 years. And then I was working at a grocery store chain as a cashier. I think it was like my junior year of high school. And then, there's loss prevention security. And they always change the security people in the grocery store. And then one day I walked in and
And I was there, and you are right. I used to zoom in on her all the time.
He was stalking you the whole time, Amy.
I was.
Right?
I really was.
There's no doubt about it in my mind. Now,
Yeah.
do you have a wedding ring or an engagement ring or any kind of ring?
We have
We
wedding
have
rings.
wedding rings.
Okay, I want to hear the ring story. Every
She lost
couple,
hers.
yeah, every couple I ever meet, I say there's got to be a ring story. So let's hear the ring
Tell
story.
them the ring story, honey, how you lost it.
Oh, like how I lost it or how we got our rings?
Yeah,
Whatever you
both.
wanna tell. Yeah,
Because then
like
if you lose it, you got to go get it again. Apparently.
that's right. You got it.
Oh, like our wedding
Yeah,
ring
like well,
story.
how did he
No,
propose? Did he propose? Did you propose to him? Well, how did it work?
I don't honestly, like, we had dated for like 8 years before we got married. So, and then by the time we got married, I don't even, was it just like,
We just kind of had a conversation.
yeah, and we're like,
And,
yeah,
yeah, the end result was we're gonna get married.
yeah, yeah.
So he didn't sneak up in a helicopter and get on his knee and all this stuff.
No, and like it was, and like honestly, the wedding ring story, it's like kind of boring and I guess kind of embarrassing because back then, like we didn't have a lot of money. And I think we went and picked out our wedding band at like Kohl's for like,
Okay.
yeah, for like they were like 60 or 70 bucks each.
You could have
Yeah,
got
it
it at Sam's Club or something, you know.
Yeah.
They do. They have a ring. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I walked by there. They got this case full of wedding rings.
Yeah. I mean, they're white gold, but they were very inexpensive. And then, like Ian said, I did lose mine. Mine, like, I don't, it didn't fit the best, and somehow I was walking around and like I would do this thing where I'd kind of like my thumb, it would kind of like flick the ring, and I guess it kind of like slipped off, and I didn't even realize it. So then I had to
Very
buy it
sad.
again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
boy,
he has his original.
another
I
60
have,
bucks down the drain there.
yeah, I know. Big investment.
You should have called your insurance company.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, maybe, you know, if it fell on the ground, Ian could have found it when he was passed out peeing all over the floor.
Oh, yeah.
What's
That's quite the story.
what's that all about?
So the story is
Speak up or shake your head or something.
shake my head.
Yeah, it works. Every time you shake your head, it works.
Does it? All right. I'm just gonna keep my head shaking.
Yeah,
as long as I
good.
talk. So I was getting just routine blood work done, and after blood work, they have you go pee in a cup. And I don't have a problem with blood or anything like that. So I went in the bathroom. As I'm peeing in a cup, my head just got all crazy. And then a few seconds later, I was looking up at the ceiling, and there was a guy standing over me, and I was peeing all over my torso. And apparently I have low blood sugar.
I
and
hate
so
when that happens. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the time. And so I passed out and ended up in the hospital. It was awful.
For 24 hours. Yeah.
Did you see the ring though? Pass by your eyes.
Yeah.
the
Did
time.
you? No,
No,
ring.
I
No.
missed the ring.
All right. Well, we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll see what I'm afraid to ask what a typical day looks like for these two. But,
All right.
so folks, about 23 years ago, I kind of turned the internet marketing guru world on its head, and that people at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand to teach what they knew to small business people. And I knew a lot of these people. You give them 50 grand, they'd be hiding out in Montenegro or Croatia because they wouldn't help you. So I said, that's too risky and no good. So I said, I'm going to charge them an entry fee, and then I'm going to tie my success to their success. So for me to make my 50,000, you have to net 200,000. Well, people really like this, and 23 years later and 1,700 students, it's still going strong. It's the longest running, most unique, most successful internet marketing program ever. And I have no trouble saying that because I've dared people for years to put programs up against mine, and nobody will do it because I'm a crazy fanatic. And it's unique in the fact that, first of all, the financial part is unique. Second is you get an immersion weekend at this big estate in Virginia Beach. You actually live in the house with me as we're working. And then we have a TV studio here in another building. We shoot marketing videos for you. And then all of our training is one-on-one. We don't do anything group, because if you're in with an advanced person, you're lost. If you're in with a beginner and you're advanced, then you're bored. So that doesn't work. So myself and my entire staff work with you one-on-one. We'll take over your computer screen when, most of the program is remote. You have the immersion weekend here. And then you also get the scholarship to my school, which would be one of the best legacy gifts you could ever give to a young person, because I know grandparents are giving them cars and paying their tuition and things for some crap education, if you can even call it that nowadays. But I got people making money a few months into the school because these are hardcore skills that every business on earth needs. I mean, email marketing and chat bots and shopping carts and everything else that goes along with it. So check it out. The mentor program is greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. And give me a call. I'm very accessible, because I sit home all the time and I don't travel the world like these two. So we'd love to hear from you and tell you about what we can do with you and your business online. All right, let's get back to Amy and Ian Anderson. They are the Digital Nomads, and they're right now in Montenegro, which I had to look up on the map, and they just live a beautiful lifestyle while still taking care of their business. It's just wonderful what many people aspire to. So I'll call them the dynamic duo here. So
I
the
like that. That's
dynamic
great.
duo. So what's a typical day look like for you? I mean, do you get up
Pretty much like
early?
a-
Do you exercise, work out, besides just the work stuff?
I wish I could say I did get up early. I love the idea of getting up early, but I'm really like, I was a much more of a morning person way back in the day when I had a traditional job, just because I had to.
Mhm.
Now, God, I feel like 9 o'clock might be an early day for me, if I'm being honest, seriously. And then we get up and we have breakfast, check email, look at, normally we have a good idea of what projects we have to work on. We get everything to a good stopping point, and then usually just go out for a walk and, explore, take some pictures, maybe stop and have a
Go for
meal.
dinner.
Yeah.
All right, now you two must get along pretty good. Is everything 24/7 you're together, or does
Pretty much.
It's been like that for as long as we can remember.
That's
Every single
amazing.
day.
Yeah, because a lot of
Yeah.
people need some space and need some time alone, but you must be a great connection there.
Yeah, I would say I can't even remember the last time that we went, we're more than 200 feet away from each other.
Except after you peed all over
After-
yourself.
Yeah,
that's
that's
when he ended up in the hospital for 24 hours.
That was
That's
the only time.
probably the
Yeah.
only time we've
Yeah,
in a
and-
long time that we've
everybody
spent
was
more
more than 200 feet away from him when he peed on himself, including the paramedics and everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
No.
we work every minute of every day. We're either we're working or we're having fun together, or we're going to the grocery store together. We're going
You're
out to
fading
lunch
away
together.
on me. Shake your head
Oh,
again.
no.
Yeah.
I'm shaking my head.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I was basically saying we do everything together every single day, and it's been like that forever.
Yeah,
so it's normal for us.
because I say like I always say, like, we don't just love each other. We actually genuinely like each other. So like, I know it might sound cheesy, but we're having this amazing experience right now, and it's like it just wouldn't be the same like doing it with anyone else.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that with most things.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I knew this internet marketing guy, and I knew his wife. She used to be my secretary, and they sat in the same like 10 by 12 office at home, and they never talked. They text each other. They
Oh,
never
wow.
said anything.
Wow,
They
yeah.
eventually got divorced. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So
No.
yeah. So, but I think before you take off on a digital nomad tour, you better know that you're compatible. I think
That's
good
right.
idea.
True. Good points.
Yeah, and again, like we had been working at home, pretty much side by side for the last 12 years
Yeah.
prior to doing this. So yeah, we knew we wouldn't kill each other,
Yeah, that's
traveling the world.
Right. Got it. So, how do people get a hold of you? That's like what you probably have some standard way because they never know where the heck you're going to be.
Well, you're on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, or you can visit on my website, ianrobertanderson.com, where you can actually see the link to that Airbnb course that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram as well, although Ian's much better at Instagram. I'm actually, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm not that great. It was somebody who, because I've never really had to use it before. Now we're finally doing something. Like, I don't want to be one of those people who just use Instagram to be like, oh, look at my Starbucks latte today. I'm like, that's boring. And I feel like I never really had anything interesting to put on Instagram. And now that we're, traveling, I feel like I'm, starting to have things that are worth sharing with people. So I've kind of just got into the Instagram game, but I'm not that great with posting as regular to
Well,
be in.
I've been taking
Yeah.
some advanced training on it, and I had to clean out. Like I had somebody else operating it for me, and they weren't paying attention, and so I had to clean out like 600 ghost followers, which were worthless,
Oh,
and
wow.
they hurt your account, even though some of them I knew personally, but they're not active, so it hurts your engagement rate. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then there's all these new features. Like I'm having a blast because I was a professional comedian for 6 years, and these reels that are kind of competitors with TikTok. They're trying to keep people on Instagram, and they're very short, most of them funny kind of thing. So I'm having a blast with that. But there's things called guides, which are new things. But you could use it for business. I mean, you've got a cool business, but still you've got a lot of knowledge on marketing and stuff. So it could, I don't know if you really want to go directly to the public though, so it might be just a fun thing for you to do, but there's an algorithm involved that they play with it all the time. And so
Yeah.
you got to do what you got to do to please the Instagram gods, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have those links to that in the show notes. So that would be they would direct message you then through Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, this has been a blast. It's like I said, you're living the life, and it's and it's nice to see a couple that actually gets along. That's
Yeah,
too.
that's us. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, great meeting you, and keep in touch. Let us know what country. Do you know where you're going next?
We're hoping it's going to be Greece.
Greece in about 2 weeks, a little over 2
Yeah.
weeks, we're going to be in Greece. So,
And what if now? Isn't there restrictions on how long you can stay on tourist visas and stuff in certain
Yeah.
countries?
Typically it's 90 days.
All right,
so that's why every 3 months we're changing countries.
so what if Greece is closed at that time? Then you have to, make new plans real quick.
Yeah. So right now, the reason why, like, again, we say hope because we do know how quickly things change. But right now, they're opening up for tourism like May 14th, May 15th to every country with the requirement of either proof of vaccination or proof of a negative PCR test within like 72 hours of arrival.
Wow. Yeah. So so that thing's put a damper on a lot of fun stuff, but still you're making the best of it. So
Yeah.
so
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's definitely been challenging, but then we've had some amazing experiences. When we were in Italy, we got to go to the Colosseum and experience the Colosseum with like only 20 other people. Like normally, if there had, it was fully open, it would be hundreds and hundreds of people.
yeah.
So, so there are perks to traveling like this.
Well, it's great to meet you two. If you see Ian passing out, just get keep an umbrella with you, and you can block.
Yes.
All right, so thanks so much. Great meeting you too, and I can't wait to hear more exploits for you. In a couple months, get in touch with me, and we'll see what you've been up to. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right, everybody.